Hey guys, how's it going? It's Jewel Tolentino here. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to share with you why I jumped 855 feet off of the Stratosphere Hotel in Las Vegas.
Did I see it right? No, step out of the Where do you want me to put the key? See you later. Your brave soul, you're a brave soul. See you later.
Okay. Your camera is on, turn your camera around and show everyone the view of the valley.
Okay.
Wait for me here. Go ahead and come on out. You're gonna turn around, look inside. One more photo. You can go ahead and turn back around and wait for me here. Go ahead and turn to your right, both hands over there on the grate for me. Turn. There you go. Made on. Back is on. Restrained. Screen clear. Right hand on the red. Your left hand to the other side on the red. Both feet on the yellow. A little more on the yellow for me. Wait for my countdown. Here she comes. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh my god. You're so brave. You're so brave.
Alright, so I'm going to start off by saying that I am afraid of heights. I'm very afraid of heights. And even when we go hiking with my friends and stuff, and I'm on the edge, I get like this pit feeling in my stomach. I get usually really nervous, scared, and my legs feel weird. And if I see the edge, I like need to go really inward away from the edge, and I need to go quite fast to get away from the edge. I used to be so scared of heights that whenever I had to walk over this bridge in Vancouver, it's called the Granville Street Bridge, and it's an actual bridge where cars go over. It has like 4 lanes or something, 2 sidewalks on each side. It's not like a skinny thing or anything like that, but it is a bridge where cars go over, so it's obviously strong. But when I had to walk on the sidewalk part, and I would see the water, and I'd see that I'm high up, I would get so nervous and like so weird, and like I couldn't even listen to music while walking. I had to like be so cautious, and I couldn't go too much to the inner side because there's cars zooming past, and I couldn't go too much to the edge where the railing was because that's where I could see the water and see how high I was. And so I would have a hard time each time walking over this bridge. And so that's to give you an idea of that I'm actually scared of heights. So why did I jump off this thing? So over the years of being in entrepreneurship and creating something and working towards something and building something from scratch, you learn that you need to fail and then learn from those failures and then keep going. And you also need to learn that when you're scared of things, you need to still do it anyways. And I feel that that's been a strong message for me to go through and break through, is that when something really scares me, that I need to just go ahead and do it. And 2019 was an awesome year, but it had both really good times and kind of horrible times as well. But those horrible times actually led to really good things as well. So even though there was this thing where we had lost like an income source of $5,000 to $7,000, and it was just the way that it happened, and it was like totally unexpected, and it just kind of blew up in our face, and that was horrible, but it led us to something better. And I first heard about the Stratosphere jump many years ago, like many years ago when it launched. I've been going to Las Vegas for a long time. Ever since I was a kid, my parents and I, we would do long drives from Vancouver to Las Vegas. I remember my parents brought us there for spring break when I was 5 years old. I don't know why we were there for spring break, but I've been going to Vegas for a long time. And so when I heard of the Stratosphere jump, it made me really scared. But then there was this urge inside of me to do it. And I hadn't been to Las Vegas in a while since the last time that I did the jump. And before going for New Year's, this past New Year's, 2019 to 2020, I said to myself years ago, I said, the next time I go to Las Vegas, I'm going to do that jump. And so when we found out we would be celebrating New Year's 2020 in Las Vegas, I mentioned to Arit that, hey, remember I said that I wanted to do this jump? I think I'm going to do it. Even thinking about it made me really nervous and scared. And so when we booked the flights, hotel, the New Year's accommodations, I went straight over to the website and I booked the Stratosphere Sky Jump for January 1st, 2020. And they had only one time slot at the time, which was between 10 to 11 a.m. And I was already thinking like, oh wow, okay, we're probably going to be going out on December 31st for the New Year's. Next morning, I have to do this jump. And I specifically wanted this jump to happen on January 1st, 2020. I did not want December 31st. I did not want January 2nd. I wanted it to be January 1st, 2020. I wanted this jump to set the tone for the year for me. Now, when I booked this jump, I immediately went over to YouTube and I watched a bunch of people's jumps, a bunch of people recording their jumps and seeing what it was like, the reactions of people. And I have to say that most people that recorded themselves and put it on YouTube were totally fine with the jump. They were like smiling, laughing, totally calm. There was only one person that I saw that was like having a mental breakdown, which is close to what I was having. And I have to say that it did help watching all those videos because they showed the process, and so I was already getting myself mentally prepared for what was to come. Like when I went to the sky jump area where you sign in, like I recognized it from all the videos. I knew what was going to happen, and I already knew the process of how it was going to go. All right, so fast forward December 31st, New Year's, it was great. 2020, I'm really excited. Then the next morning I wake up and I'm so scared. I'm not only extremely tired, because Vegas makes you tired, I'm really, really nervous. And when I get to the Stratosphere Hotel, I need to go to the washroom. And luckily, they do say go to the washroom beforehand. They make sure you go to the washroom. And they put you in the suit and they strap you on really tight. Like everything is being really tightened. So many people are checking you. They're constantly asking you if you have gum in your mouth and that you've removed everything. And then you go and you take the elevator. And you take the elevator to the like 108th or 9th floor. And you don't really realize how high it is until you get to the top. And all the buildings that you look below, they're like tiny. You see the Las Vegas Strip, and it's just like a little sliver of a thing. And then I noticed that there were tourists everywhere because it's kind of like the Space Needle in Seattle. Like everyone's taking pictures of the view and everything and looking. And then you see this little room where that's where you're supposed to jump. And there's pretty much like a little platform, like a little diving board basically, where you're supposed to jump. And when I saw that room, I was really trying to keep myself together. I would say if I did not keep myself together, I would have a panic attack and probably burst into tears because that's how scared I was. That's how real this was for me. So I'm constantly breathing. I'm doing breathing techniques. And I have to say, if I did this maybe 5 years ago, one, I don't even think I would be doing it. And two, I don't think I'd have the mental stability to do it. And three, I don't think I would be strong enough to keep it together. So before you jump, they have you wait outside and they have this little roped off area and all the tourists are looking at you and taking video of you and looking at your face and seeing how excited you were. And I was not trying to look at anyone. I was literally just looking at the ground, trying to breathe, trying to control my breathing. Because, like I said, if I didn't, I would lose it. And then the next person jumped and now it's my turn. And it's so loud. Everything's really loud because of all the pulleys and the ropes and the machinery. It's really loud in there. And then once you get inside, there's wind everywhere. There's wind and it's loud. And the people that work there, they're very calm and not strict, but they're very to the point, and they have a very level head because they need to protect you for your safety. And they're like very much like, okay, do this, and they're explaining, this is what you do, don't do that. And even though they see me kind of like panicking, they're still very much like neutral with their emotion, which I think was good for me. Because I wouldn't want someone when I'm up there to, console me, because then I'd maybe start crying or something. Because they were so straight to the point, it was like boom, 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 okay, move over here, you're now on the platform. You can see in the pictures that I'm losing it inside for sure. I'm just when she said take a picture, I was like, I could barely even put a smile on my face. And it was a nice, bright, sunny day, January 1st in Las Vegas. And it is another feeling when you are standing up there and it's just this little mini cement diving board and you're holding on each side. They tell you to go on this side first, and then while holding the right side, move your other arm to that side, and you're literally holding on one side, and they tell you to put your feet right on the edge. There's this yellow line and your feet's right on the edge. And at first my toes were away from the edge, and you'll hear in the video she says move them up closer, and I'm right on the edge. And I told myself that when they do the countdown, because they go 3, 2, 1, when they do the countdown, you can't hesitate. Do not hesitate. I kept telling myself that over and over again. You can't hesitate, because if you do, you might just back out altogether. And it all happened very fast, and all of a sudden she just goes, okay, here we go. Here she comes. 3, 2, 1. And as soon as she said 1, I just had to jump. And even as I'm recalling this, I'm picturing it and I'm feeling it again. I cannot explain to you the feeling of jumping into open air off a building 855 feet in the air when you are afraid of heights. As you hear in the video, I immediately start screaming, and I've never heard this kind of scream from myself in my life. I look at the video now and I've never heard that from myself before. That was the first time I ever sounded like that. And initially when I jumped, it was like, 'cause there's nothing to grab onto. And I had the GoPro camera on my wrist, and initially I was gonna try and grab something just for security, but there was nothing to grab. And then I pulled my arm in and then I put it back out just to keep it out there so that my other arm would stay out there so that I could get the proper recording. Because I was afraid I was gonna pull my arms in and then not get the recording. So as I'm free falling, there's wind like crazy. I'm trying to also take it in. I'm trying to tell myself to live the moment. And so I'm like looking around, but at the same time, I cannot stop screaming. And it all happened so fast. And then when you get to the bottom, you can see from Marit's point of view, I'm falling pretty fast. And then they have the thing kind of like catch you and it like slows you down. And then when I get to the bottom, I cannot feel anything. Like, I didn't even realize that I landed on the ground. I was in complete shock. I was totally out of it. The video ends, but Arit's trying to talk to me, and she's trying to ask me, like, first of all, she's congratulating me because she couldn't believe that I did that kind of thing because she knows how afraid I am of heights. I couldn't even compute anything. I'm starting to, like, my whole body was tingling like crazy. I couldn't even feel myself. And the first thing I said was, I need water, because, like, my mouth and throat was, like, so dry. Not from the actual wind, but I think because I was just in shock, totally scared, that myself dried myself out. And when I got to the bottom and I'm like breathing, I wanted to burst into tears because I could not believe that I did something like that. Now, if you were to ask me right after getting down, would I do that again? My initial answer would be no. But after a couple days of processing it and watching the videos over and over again and realizing that, whoa, I actually did jump off 855 feet off of this hotel. Like, after that sunk in, I would actually do it again now. And I'm actually quite proud that I had this crazy fear and I did it anyways. For me, this whole thing was a personal thing. Like, I felt like I needed to do this for myself. I needed to feel the fear and do it anyway. I know that's a book that I actually have not read, but I heard the title and I felt like I needed to do that. I needed to feel this fear, this crazy fear, and do it anyways. And Arit was saying that, you know, you did this January 1st, 2020. You can now go through the year, and if anything scares you, you can literally think back to when you were standing up on the edge of that building and that you jumped. You just compare everything to that, and everything's gonna seem tiny. Every little problem, every little thing that makes you scared is gonna seem like nothing. And that's what I wanted. I know it's extreme. I know I did an extreme mental exercise for myself, but I wanted to. I wanted a radical shift for myself. And I have to say that I do feel different after doing that. I do feel different, confident that I did do something like that despite being so scared. It did not cure my fear of heights. I am still afraid of heights, but it's the fact that I am afraid of heights that I went through and did something like that. So that is why I jumped 855 feet off of the Stratosphere Hotel in Las Vegas. It was a mental exercise for myself. I felt like I needed to do this for myself. I felt like to become stronger mentally, I needed to do this. I don't regret it at all. I would do it again. I would do some other things now. I encourage you guys to do something that scares you. You don't have to go as extreme as I did. I felt like I needed to, but do something that scares you and see what happens. See how you feel after. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video.